Shalom bimroma Ya'aseh Shalom aleinu Ve'al kol Yisrael Ve'imru Yalla la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. Yalla 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 la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. Yalla 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 la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Yesharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Yesharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Yesharet, Malachi HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem l'shalom, Malachi Yesharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Yesharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You can clap your hands if you want. Baruch Hu Nila Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nila Shalom, Malachi Yesharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Yesharet, Malachi HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Shalom,
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
All right. I actually had to bust out my glasses now because we have this great screen in the back of the room where I don't have to try and lead while looking at the screen at the same time, but I wouldn't be able to see it, and I feel like I need to proudly say that in front of my eye doctor who's here. Cantor Josh, you have a special guest here tonight.
I do. My sister's here.
Yay! We like to, embarrass people who come to visit. So, welcome back. So, sabbatical. The dictionary definition is a period of paid leave granted to a university teacher or other worker, clergy, for study or travel, traditionally 1 year for every 7 years worked. That's what the dictionary says. It is not what our contract says, so that's the good news. It is customary after 7 years of service to the same congregation that a rabbi is often granted sabbatical time. Rabbi Flip and I just took the last 3 weeks to travel and study and read. I read so much, it was great, and visit with other Jewish communities both in Toronto and Seattle. It was truly rejuvenating and refreshing for both of us, and we thank you for giving us that space. And we thank our partner and colleague, Cantor Josh, for leading services so beautifully in our absence and for holding down the pastoral fort. Thank you, Cantor Josh.
No problem.
Yes. While in Toronto, we spent Shabbat with Holy Blossom Congregation, one of the largest in North America. Holy Blossom began as an Orthodox synagogue and grew to become known the world over as a flagship Reform congregation in the classical Reform style. But in recent decades, it has shifted towards the more traditional wing of the Reform movement, which is not atypical for Canada. Reform Judaism in Canada is more like we might experience conservative light, I would say, here in the United States. While there, Rabbi Yael Spolansky, who is their senior rabbi, shared the following poem penned by an Israeli poet named Tal Shavit, and the poem is entitled Good Day. I'm going to share it with you in English. I want to manage all the war rooms, mobilize all the supply chains. I want to take care of all the children, of all the single mothers and those who are gone. I want to turn myself into protective vests for all the fighters, become iron domes over the heads of all the girls, each and every one. To sustain all the families, the evacuated, the broken, the crushed. Return those who were taken, bring back all that is gone. I want to collect all the donations and take them where they belong. To pass all the messages, to make all the sandwiches, to oversee all the efforts. But on a good day, I manage sometimes to breathe, sometimes to drink, sometimes to call loved ones. On a good day, I manage sometimes to cry. We were gone 3 weeks, but not a whole lot changed, and we all know the news of this past week. And we continue to pray for those who are still held, our people in captivity, now going on over 300 days. And sometimes all we can do is manage to cry. It's one of the reasons that we come here to this sanctuary to be in the midst of this Kehillah Kedoshah, the sacred community. So we can cry if we must. And perhaps we will feel comforted by the presence of others, by their sharing of simchas, by our communal prayer and song, because that is what this is about. It is a refuge for each of us and for all of us collectively. So before we light our candles this evening, let's just take a moment to share the simchas, like Josh's sister, Cantor Josh's sister, visiting us on this Shabbat. Other celebrations, other joys, things to share, please do at this time. Your birthdays, pop-up.
Yeah, it was my 82nd birthday, but I want to give a shout out to Roy Hiller.
We're giving a shout out to Roy Hiller on the heels of the fact that yesterday was your 82nd birthday. Tom, so for those of you at home, Tom had a cousin he lost touch with, Julian, many, many years ago, and Roy needs to know because Roy is the master of genealogy. So we all long lost connections, familial, get reported to Roy. Roy, raise your hand, just so we all know. All right, thank you, Pop-Up. What other joys and celebrations are we? Yes, Kenny.
My grandson got his driver's license recently and decided to take a drive tonight to service.
I love it, Mazel Tov. That's a big deal and very liberating and exciting. Welcome to your independence. That's excellent. Okay, what other good things? We've got birthdays, driver's license, other joys. Janet, you are a grandmother. You have a grand puppy, very cute, named Pepper.
Yes,
9 weeks old, so cute.
The cutest ever.
Ever, almost.
The smartest ever.
My puppy.
Oh, excuse me.
Thank you. It's okay. Just let's know our place. And then the Galbraiths have a puppy too, so okay. We'll get all our puppies together. Well, Puppy Shabbat. That's a great idea. Don't tell Carrie. Okay. What other joys, Simcha celebrations? No? Oh, yeah, Scoob.
The kids are back from camp, getting ready for school on Tuesday,
Ha-
and then we get a month of Alex till he has to go back to school.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, I don't know if we are celebrating school starting, but Jacob's was good. Jacob's was good. All right, awesome. I saw some cute pictures. Okay, school is starting, but camp is over, and somehow that's not joyous, but I'm glad you had a great time at camp. All right, we have another Simcha right here.
Well, I was just going to say that I'm going to be having a great-grandson.
Great-grandson on the way.
Their grandson. And I'm going to have a granddaughter getting married.
Oh my gosh, a wedding and a new baby. Those are good things. All right, it's very exciting. I saw a hand.
Harrison just celebrated his 10th birthday.
10! Double digits. You can't go back from that.
Grandma from New York.
All right, welcome. We're so glad to have you. We love when guests come to visit. And then when you move here and join the congregation. One step at a time. You don't have to do it all tonight. Okay. Yes.
My daughter is visiting from Nebraska.
Welcome.
It's all the same to me. My newly married daughter.
Mazel tov. I drove through Nebraska twice.
I flew over it.
Actually, my story about Nebraska is I was driving from Chicago to Colorado, and we drove through Nebraska, and we stopped at a Subway, and we ordered our food, and then a week later, when we were driving back, the guy remembered my order. So, as far as I know, everyone in Nebraska is very, very bright. Really, really smart, so I have a lot of regard. All right. Oh, Mary, last one.
We celebrate our congregation. We're talking on schmooze with people with very different political views, and we came together, and we still are kind and wonderful to each
Oh, we like to say politics not on the bima, but not out of the building, and we love that people respect each other, even if they have different views. All right, Rabbi Flip is giving me, we might get divorce looks for going on and on and on, because he knows the service is gonna get long. So I'm gonna invite Ron and Faith Galbraith, newly returned from the wilderness of Montana, to light our Shabbat candles this evening.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you to the Galbraiths, and we'll continue singing Welcoming in Shabbat with the words of Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likras kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likras kala b'nei שבת נקבלה שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד כי השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו תפארת ולתחילה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלחם כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסלך סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך ומאורי אורי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום את ארץ בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה.
We'll remain standing through Hatzi Kaddish and Baruch Hu. Please chant with Cantor Josh.
יתקדע ויתקדש שמי רבה
אמן.
ועמד יברח ילותי וימליך מלכותי בחיי כל יומכם ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יש מרבה מבורך לעולם יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירה בעמה ואמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך ברוך אדוני המבורך 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 לעולם ועד. המבורך, המבורך לעולם ועד.
I invite you to please read with me on the screens. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time, and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are the creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב, המעריב, המעריב הרבים.
You're probably familiar with this next version of Ahavat Olam, but Cantor Josh and I were able to offer it as a prayer at the Pride Spirituality service earlier this summer. And we were really honored to be the only Jewish representatives at that service. And we got the whole congregation singing with us, and we hope that will happen tonight as well.
We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. Let's try this part together. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Continue chanting together.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha ve'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Adonai Elohechem Emet.
In our Torah this week, the Israelites are preparing, they're ready to advance into Israel and enter the promised land. So it's a very exciting moment. But the rabbis tell this story, a midrash, at this particular juncture of our Torah, about eventually 2.5 tribes that want to stay in the land that they have recently conquered. And they don't want to cross the Jordan and enter the promised land. Now, these 2.5 tribes recognize the delicacy of this request, because Israel, it's the promised land, and they're willingly absenting themselves. So what follows is a subtle but beautiful example of what it is to ask and what it means to listen. So this is what the Midrash teaches us. It says that the Gadites and the Reubenites approach Moses, and Eleazar the priest and the chieftains of the community, and we're told, Vayomer Alehem, and they said. And this is followed by a recounting of the names of the lands that they have conquered and the information that this land is, quote, cattle country, and we, your servants, have cattle. Okay, so the next word is Vayomru, and they said. And the text continues, it would be a favor to us if this land were given to us. And the rabbis say, why is Vayomru, and they said, stated twice? Like, we know, you could just keep the paragraph going with the punctuation. Doesn't need to say, and they said again. So Ibn Ezra, who is a Torah commentator, says that the repetition is to remind us that they're still talking. But we know that. Other speeches in the Torah don't repeat, and they said. So why does this one repeat it? It also fails to explain a significant feature of the text, which is that you have this letter samech in the Hebrew that separates the two phrases, just visually if you're looking at the Hebrew. So why is there this break in the middle of the speech? So Abravanel, another Torah commentator, says that the opening of the speech is sort of this veiled request. They're saying, we have a lot of cattle, And this land is really perfect cattle land. So they're not making the request outright. Our executive coach would say, you're not being clear in your request. They're just sort of hinting to what it is they want. And then they fall silent. And the tribes are hoping that Moses is going to come up with the great idea himself. Why don't you just stay here? So they're trying to escape the responsibility of their own request. The Psalmic, that Hebrew letter, says the Torah commentator Abravanel, represents Moses' silence. Psalmic, silence. So the "and they said," the second one, is added because after that silence, when Moses doesn't say anything, doesn't jump in, they resume speaking, and this time they make their request explicit. So Moses then reminds the tribes of the struggles of the past, and they, the tribes, promise to fight until all of Israel is secure before they return back across the Jordan to live in this cattle-perfect land. Rabbi David Wolbe comes to say, what does this teach us today? That after October 7th, we understand Moses' silence in a brand new way. We too passionately promise to aid our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael, just as our ancestors did on the plains of Moab. We'll make sure they're secure, and then we'll return to our peace here at home. Please join us as we chant the words or sing the words of Mi Chamocha, and then pray for the release of hostages. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who releases the captives.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu leshalom. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu leshalom. V'ha'amidenu shomreinu lechaim. Ufros aleinu סוכת שלומך. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו, השכיבנו לשלום. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Please rise for the Amidah.
Hananan, hananana, Adonai. Ananananana, sfatai tiftah. Ananananana, ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Ananananana, Adonai. Ananananana, sfatai tiftah. Ananananana, ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu ve'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל העליון, כומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please take these moments for your own silent prayer and be seated when you're ready.
ישראל עמך תשים לעולם, Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam
This Shabbat, we have a full Misha Berach healing list, which we don't like to see. And you likely have names you would like to add as well. So I'll begin with ours here for our community and then invite you to share as well. We think of Allie McCormick, Deborah Brodsky, Michael Marquis, Trevor Von Dolan, Tanya Neal, Gilbert Nave, Mary Craig, Mike Johnson, Vera Patterson, Jay Cohen, Lee Cohen, Ron Rubio, Debbie Lahman, Teresa James, Jonathan Stout, Victoria Cohen Crumpton, Mark Hiller, Ebby Sandberg, John Mitchell, Sidney Rappaport, and Bill Schreibman. Please join us.
We'll add Jeff Margolis as well. El na refana lanu. El na refana lanu. Dear God of our ancestors,
Dear God of our ancestors,
help us renew our faith.
help us renew our faith.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Bring peace to all our days.
Bring peace to all our days.
El na refana lanu. El na refana lanu. Restore our strength of body.
Restore our strength of body.
Help clarify our minds.
Help clarify our minds.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Rejuvenate rejuvenate our life.
Rejuvenate our life.
Refana lanu. Elna refana lanu. Thank you for all these blessings.
Thank you for all these blessings.
Throughout our days and nights.
Throughout our days and nights.
We celebrate the journey.
We celebrate the journey.
This precious gift of life.
This precious gift of life.
Elna refana lanu. Elna refana lanu.
Right here. Ready for you.
Shabbat Shalom. Okay, who's watching the Olympics? Yeah, I'm a sports fan. Swimming and basketball, gymnastics and soccer and the storylines. Tori Husk misses winning an Olympic medal at the Tokyo Games 4 years ago by 1/100th of a second. That stuck with her, motivating her, and this week she struck gold. The Rices love lots of sports. We cheered for the Predators when they made that surprise Stanley Cup run this past spring. And we're really taken with this new soccer stadium, and we're gearing up for a new season of the Titans, feeling very hopeful. And we also love baseball, which is in full swing. See what I did there? Okay. One of the more grueling positions to play in baseball is that of the catcher, right? The one who crouches behind home plate and catches 100-mile-an-hour fastballs from the pitcher, who's cracking his kneecaps. Baseball analysts say that one of the most valuable skills that a catcher has is something called framing. This is the art of catching the ball in such a way that it makes it more likely for an umpire to call it a strike. Yeah. Whether that's sort of turning a borderline ball into a strike or not losing a strike to poor framing. So if you want to skip my words this evening, leave early because Rabbi Laurie went a little long. The moral of the sermon is get good at framing. Framing the experiences of your own life. And this is one of the many lessons that we learn from the Torah portion this week. And part of the problem, and as Rabbi Laurie knows it, is that it's a double portion. But don't fret. I'm only going to talk about the second one, so it won't be twice as long. I'm going to illuminate you with wisdom from the portion called Ma'aseh, translated as wanderings or journeys. Listen to its opening words. Eila Ma'aseh v'nei Yisrael. These are the voyages of the Jewish people, their continuing mission to seek out new life. And it doesn't say that. I'm just sort of a Star Trek geek. But this is what it says. It says, Eila Ma'aseh v'nei Yisrael. These are the journeys of the Jewish people. Yeah. Asher yetzu me'eretz Mitzrayim litzotam, who left the land of Egypt in their multitudes. Beyad Moshe v'Aharon, under the charge of Moses and Aaron. Vayiktov Moshe et motzechem lema'asechem. And Moses recorded the starting points of their various marches or journeys. Al pi Adonai, as directed by God. Ve'ela ma'asehem lemotzehem. And these were their journeys and their starting points. It doesn't say this in the Torah, but colon. And then it lists the journeys. Why is it important to list the journeys? Torah is not a history book. It's not a travel log. What's the purpose of the list? So the ancient rabbis who are reading this, they write these midrashim, these stories. And this is the story they tell to explain it. They say it's like a parent whose child becomes sick and is needed to be taken to a faraway place to be healed, like Children's Hospital. And on the way back, the parent begins citing all of the stages of the journey. This is where we sat down because you were crying and felt cold. And here's where you complained about being hungry. And this is where you had that headache. Likewise, Moses was instructed to list all of the places the Jewish people had sort of tested God's patience. Recounting all of the journeys forced them to recall the difficult times. Have you ever been on a road trip with young children that lasted too long? The people recalled all the challenges they underwent as they traveled through the desert. That doesn't really answer the question, what's the point? Why go through the psychological and emotional, painful process of listing all of these locations and all of their negative associations? Why bring up all this national trauma? It was all behind them. They were poised to enter the promised land. Rabbi Aharon Loshak and the Olympic athlete Tori Husk come to teach us. Failure is a powerful springboard. The purpose of this collective therapy session is to re-experience the pitfalls and recognize them for what they really were, catalysts for growth. And one of the more refreshing ideas that was developed in the canon of the Hasidic work is the notion that every fall can facilitate a greater rise. And it's explained as things as banal as banal as a kid on a trampoline, pressing down on fabric, soaring back up, high in the air, all the way to deep challenges like grief and pain and trauma. And this is true of individuals, and it's true of communities, and it's true of countries. Resilience is a long-held and needed value of the Jewish people. A true Hasid, a pious person, understands that challenges will always come our way and treats them as launching pads to lift themselves up to greater heights. In the thick of the challenge, it's difficult to see this, and many of you bring your challenges to us, and we are empathetic in this community. Looking back, it's often possible to say, oh, if I hadn't have lost my job, I never would have started this successful business. All's well that ends well. But in those weeks, or months, or years, without a job, racking up debt, it's almost certain that you did not think that you were on the way up. And for this reason, it's important to pause after the fact, after you have reached the high ground, you are up, and revisit the down, and reframe it like a catcher for yourself. Because by doing so, you can gain perspective and understand how low moments that test us are sometimes what we need to enter the promised land. The next time that things go off the rails in your life, you feel like it's a dumpster fire, you should be ready. You should know that Judaism says it's only a matter of time until the sun peaks above the horizon and you inevitably fling right up through the glass ceiling. Just prior to entering the promised land, after a long and arduous journey, replete with many downs in the Torah, the people revisit and re-examine all the low points in order to understand how they were just springboards for the next up. In the analogy of life, this is how it works. On the way down, while we experience the material and the moral and the spiritual pitfalls, we only see them as negative. It's on the climb back up that we can say, oh, now I can see why not getting into graduate school was like the best thing that could have ever happened to me. It's tremendously healing to be a good framer. When you take the time and effort to look through history, your own, the past challenges, the failures that brought you to certain plateaus, it can be eminently empowering. So this Shabbos, consider some of your past failures, the challenging moments. You're human, you've all had them. And take a moment to see if and how they were ultimately necessary steps to other successes. And if you can't see it right away, be a persistent framer. Try again. Because when you rack up enough records of failures turned successes, you possess this valuable asset. It's a practical immunity to the next challenge. Because of course, there will be times when life hits you on the head and it hurts and it's challenging. And it stretches your nerves. But now you know this Jewish piece of wisdom, this secret from the Torah. If you're falling this hard and this low, there's a diving board. Look for it so that you can go high and it can be exhilarating. If it's too hard to see it, be a chassid and believe that redemption is right around the corner. That's what Midrash Bamidbar and Rabbi Tori Husk teach us. Watch her in this video.
Yeah, so last time I missed the podium by 1/100th of a second, and I'm not gonna lie, that was devastating. But I think that it really fueled me, and I think that it did make me better. And the same goes for last year. I had a really rough summer last year, and my races, I just knew they weren't the races that if I if I knew that they weren't the best races I could put together. And it was a really hard road, but I had an amazing support system. I have my family to thank and all my friends and the amazing people at Stanford and my teammates and my coaches. So I had them to push me every single day. And I also had the entire Team USA behind my back, and I was racing next to Gretchen. So I had a lot of good things going for me.
You too have a lot of good things going for you. A supportive community here at Congregation Micah. Someone once asked the rabbi, is it the journey or the destination that matters? And the rabbi answered, it's the company. Thank you for being part of our evening. Thank you for being part of the family of families that is Congregation Micah and the Jewish people. Shabbat Shalom. We are going to move to our concluding prayers with Aleinu. We always invite any and everyone who wants to come close to the magical Torah that teaches us these things. And the rest of the community, if they do not find it difficult, to please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Here at the end of our service, we think about those people who still touch our hearts through memory. We continue to mourn for Homer Middleton, Dr. Daniel Bachman, Michael Walsh, Alan Elliott Goldstein, Joyce Abramovich Margolis, Judith Richter, Carol Isabel Korn, David Crystal, John Holmes Wolfarth, Edward Horn, Dolores Edward, Sean Duffy, Morris Schwartz. Baxter Overton, Alan Frohl, Joe Fontella, Esther Dede Denbo Lipman, Chip Alberts, Senator Joe Lieberman, Alex Morgan, Iris Weissman, Matthew Curlin, Ellen Oakes, Claire Schwartz, Elizabeth Lazar, Richard Dick Eskin, Mary Spencer, Erwin Schwartz, Patricia Helen Barnett Wind, Lizzie Kappelman, Ava Marks, Marvin Millman, Joanne Middleton, Dr. Marvin Schwartz, Sylvia Samus, Shirley Greenberg, Joseph Morton Weinstein, David Alberts, Trudy Levy, and Charles Strobel. We also recall on the anniversaries of their deaths, Tess Nanny Affronti, Mary Agee, Gabriel Albala, Emily Osfeld-Romer, Corinne Blecker, David Allen Caro, and Andre Chaim Susan, Neil Cohen, Birlieb Danilov, Melvin Eppinger, Dorothy Fallon, Alan Feinstein, Molly Fendrick Haber, Mrs. Joyce E. Geschweiler, Henrietta Goodman, Pamela Grossinger, Roland Terry Hill, Morris Jacobs, Haviva Carola Strugazzo, Jerry Kestenberg, David Lowy, Sally Lipson, Helen Oakes Rosenberg, Louis G. Rabin, Dr. James R. Service, and Ralph Wise. Names I've neglected to mention are just ones you want to say aloud.
Barry Fireman,
Jeff Robertson, Bill Hodge, Nathan Joseph Miller, Warren Thompson,
Joan Green.
Susan Wright.
We think of all people who have been a blessing to humanity, and we join together in the ancient words of Kaddish Yatom, our mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'almad yirach yirutei v'yamich malchutei, v'chayachon u'vyomachon u'chayei kol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalah u'bizman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudisha b'reichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlomo Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al Yisrael, Nehru, Amen. We ask, as always, that the source of peace send peace to all people who are mourning, comfort to all people who may feel bereaved. We say one final time together.
Amen.
Okay. A Kiddush, a closing song.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshan b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'maseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikrai kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim ki vanu vacharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, amotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Happy birthday.